for it to spool up. Looks like it's about to go. Okay, here we go. Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome to Houston. We have a problem. I got Mike the Marine on today. There's no trading today, so we're just kind of shoot the shit and talk about just whatever we want to talk about. I got his YouTube and his Twitter in the description there. And my roommate told me to remind you, I set up a membership program, so please join the membership. Get various perks with it, and if you sign up for the premium one, you'll get discounts on the store. We start getting more little things in there for goofy t-shirts and stuff. I'm so bad at marketing myself. I have to like constantly poked and prodded. Once I get like 30 seconds of talking, then I click the intro and we intro. One sec. Boom. There it is. And turn the intro off. And the After Dark one is... the After Dark one was on. I almost double introed myself. Okay. The best part about having intro, about getting intro, was that my old roommate is a video editor, so he was able to make them for me. Otherwise, nice. It would just be like, I don't know, MS Paint pictures going across. Okay. All right. I didn't really have an outline for what we're going to talk about. I kind of figured we just organically flow. And I'll hit questions and things in the chat here. And Don Caesar Shadem. Thank you for joining there, John Caesar Shadem. You were one of the instrumental people in organizing the protests last month for the SEC. Didn't quite have the crowds we were hoping for, but a few 80, 90 diehards
we figured somewhere between 75 and 85. Some people were coming and going in and out, but at one point we had 76 for sure. Yeah, but we're predicting at least 80 plus.
Okay. And it's kind of short notice. It's January. It's cold. You got some airtime with Charles Payne, and Charles, he seems to be, behind the apes. But when it comes time for him to do segments, they're really short and they never quite explain what's going on.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, Houston, here's the thing about that. Of course, I had the CEO, Jeremy Farmer, was out there, came up to me, tried to tell me what I needed to say. I had people texting me, messaging me, make sure you cover this, make sure you cover that. And I got everybody telling me what to say. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to say what comes to my mind, because actually, I don't even know what his questions are. No one prepped me. And I was standing there. I have back pain, so I'm standing there. They told us we were going to go live soon. It turned out to be 45 minutes. The crowd behind me stood there quiet, just waiting. I walked away for a little bit. I actually walked over to the train station and went and peed, came back, tried to stretch my back. And then they finally said we could stand there. And I had an earpiece in. Yeah. And I'm trying to tell people, try staring at a camera in the cold with an earpiece in your ear. And then you're trying to hear him, which I was listening. And then he kind of asks questions while answering questions too. And he tries to direct you. And then there's a time delay. And if you notice towards the end, I said, what's that, Charles? And he was trying to cut me off because I was trying to get a point across that I needed. And it was so short, I'm like, there was a few things I wanted to say, but again, the whole idea behind it was just to get airtime. Yeah. I mean, I could have just said the sky is purple, my donkey's dick is blue. Like, it didn't matter. Yeah. The fact was I wanted, and I made it. That was a point. Well, I asked them, and I told them, I want people to understand this. I told them that I would not do the interview if my people couldn't be in it. Yeah. And so it's funny how it turned out. They said my bodyguards, but Dave Stiles was in it. He's one of the organizers. So he was standing next to me. George Donahue George, everybody knows, he helped support me along the way. He was a voice. So I said, I want you guys standing with me. And then Alex and the rest of them. Then I said, well, let's get the whole people. So I wasn't going to do it if they didn't allow what we did. Yeah. I just wanted the world to see all of those people. Yep. And it didn't matter what I said, but unfortunately people are like, well, you didn't say this. You didn't know what you're talking about. Well, I'm like, guys.
A few weeks prior, he had John Berta on for like 2 minutes. And, Berta, I'll be honest, love the guy. He really has a hard time getting the point across succinctly. And so in the 2 minutes, he's like spooling up to getting to the point, and then it's like, well, the 2 minutes are up. See you later. Bye, John. Poof. I think what Charles needs to do for some of these pieces is get an actual interview done, and then they can just chop it up and present something that's like coherent, has a storyline to it, so that his viewers at home who may not be part of this whole thing go, oh, that's what's happening. Because right now it just seems like it's not hitting home. If I were somebody who is not related to this at all and happened across his show, I would have no idea what's going on. I'd be like, what are these hippies doing protesting something? Like, why they keep talking about stocks I don't care about? Why, who is this John Berta guy and why does he matter? And he didn't really say anything in those 2 minutes he had. And so I wish that like the folks in that mainstream happen to navigate a little more towards helping us generate that coherent message, because a lot of us are amateurs. We that's not, we're learning as we go along, but like they have national audiences and they should know how to produce these things, and we're just not quite seeing it yet.
It was live too.
Yeah.
So it wasn't pre-recorded. And so I knew that. And I'm like, I've been on other shows. I was on the War Room with Steve Bannon 5 times. I did the Canadian documentary. I've done commercials years ago when I was running companies on the West Coast. I've been on the radio. I've done 15-minute interviews on TV. That stuff doesn't scare me. I wasn't afraid to be up there. I mean, hell, I wouldn't even look into the dude. I'm talking to something in my ear.
Yeah.
But it's live, and I'm like, the last thing I'm gonna do is act like a fool. The last thing I'm gonna do is go, oh man, we got naked shorting going on and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like all this. We're like, well, make sure you mention about this, and why do that, man? We're on national TV. We're live in that moment, and I want more. What I want the media to trust, because that took a lot of trust. What people don't understand is Fox News and Payne took a big risk by going live with us standing there. I mean, we coached everybody. We told everybody, you better be quiet because they will shut this down in a heartbeat.
And they're like, Boba Booey, and then
yeah, I mean, but you saw how disciplined we were.
Yeah.
You saw how that was because of my leadership team that was out there. That's because these people were out there to do that. And that's what people fail to see is behind the scenes what we created. And for me, I'm like, I'm going to be very careful what I say, because most of these people aren't going to understand what I'm saying. So if I do say something crazy, like you were just saying, they're not going to get it.
Yeah.
And hell, let's be honest, man. How many people are watching Fox Payne Business at, what was it, 2 p.m. on a Friday?
Yeah.
Like, who's watching that?
Probably about the same number of people I'm watching right now.
Yeah. So I'm like, it's just the point. Yeah. It's the point that we appeared on it. We get to record it. And now it's the after effects.
Yeah.
But people don't understand marketing. That's actually my profession, is sales and marketing.
Yeah. So do you have plans, perhaps when the weather gets warmer, to do something similar again?
So I'm trapped. I can't go anywhere for a little while. I told everybody, me personally can't go.
Yeah.
We were working. There's a group of people talking about trying to do Miami, and Donahue George was going to try to step up and lead that, because I told him I can't be there and I can't lead it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of in limbo right now. We found out they don't actually have a permit, so we haven't got to promoting that yet.
Yeah.
Jeremy Frommer from CEO Block just sent out an email where he's going to do another town hall meeting that's coming up here soon, and he wants to discuss in there. He's been working on a permit for New York in March. He was talking March 24th.
Okay.
So if he can get that put together, there may be another one there. I mean, that's our goal and our hopes, but it sounds like outside forces are coming in. Like I said, the CEO Block, Jeremy Frommer, is really stepping up. And then, of course, Roger Hamilton, they're kind of starting to run with it. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of starting to get pushed off to the side. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I'd love, like, we don't have an SEC office out here in Seattle. The closest is San Francisco, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to make it to San Francisco to like go and protest.
Yeah, it's probably San Francisco versus Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Imagine, yeah.
And I don't know why we don't have an office in Seattle. We've got like 10 Fortune 500 companies here, probably 10 Fortune 50 companies at that. But
it's a big hub.
We got Boeing, Amazon, Microsoft, PACCAR. Who else is here? Caterpillar? Is that who else is here? I don't know. There's a bunch of them. But I don't know. We're a huge port city. Why don't we have SEC? So.
No, Salt Lake City has one. Denver has one.
Yeah.
For credit. Fort Worth has one.
Yeah. Like Dallas Fort Worth is a big metro area. I get it. They got oil trading. The all sorts of stuff goes on there. But Salt Lake City has Adobe, and that's about it.
Well, they got one in Philly. I mean,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
surprised me. I
yeah.
mean,
So, oh well. So try like it's really easy to get people on the internet to like talk, post videos, do stuff like that. It's really difficult to get them to show up in person. It's what it feels like. And you know, it costs money to unless you happen to live in like in DC. It's going to cost you quite a bit to like get out there to do that protest. And it's hard. I mean, I totally get that it's hard to like get like the million people that we'd love to have going marching and like shaking trash cans or whatever. So like what do you think the next step for sort of the grassroots of this should be?
well, as far as financials is concerned, like for me, I spent close to $1,500. I took the vacation time, so I missed out
Yeah.
on money.
Yeah.
Two, I traveled there, the hotel. Now, people helped me. Don't get me wrong, people
Yeah.
helped me pay for it. But you guys need to realize 85 people, up to 85 people probably spent, and if they came as a couple, they spent more. And there was a lot of couples there.
Yeah.
They spent anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 a piece. You multiply that times two. I mean, that's $2,000. That's what, 160,000. My math's horrible.
Yeah.
That was a lot of money that 85 people decided to use
Yeah.
of their own money to travel. And not to mention the parts and pieces, things, signs, all the stuff they put into it. So it was extremely difficult, Houston. I mean, if you saw, I went through hell with the AMC community for like 4 months because I started talking about it in August of 2022.
Yeah.
I brought it up in spring of 2022 and got knocked down by all the OG apes.
Yeah.
And then I said, screw it, I'm going hard because I got other people telling me they want this to happen. And so it is extremely hard to get people to accept it. They were
Yeah.
against it. They thought we'd be infiltrated by FBI. They thought that outside forces would make us look bad. I mean, everything you can think of, January 6th,
Yeah.
they were calling me the Eps.
Yeah.
I mean, I took a beating doing it. But when those people showed up, man, and what they spent the time and energy just to come to Washington was huge. And so my idea, what I'd like to see happen is rotation of places.
Yeah.
So like I said, we're talking Miami. So what we can do is you can get more of the people that are
Yeah.
already local.
Exactly.
And then we can create, and now people aren't spending as much money. They're coming out for the day. Maybe they
Yeah.
just take a day off. And then, even if we have, I'm going to tell you 50 to 80 people is actually a good number.
Yeah.
Having, 5,000, that's when bad shit happens. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. When you start getting into the thousands beyond thousands. Now, granted, I hope we don't get to that point to where everybody gets so pissed off because their trades keep going wrong.
Yeah.
And then eventually we do get to the point where everybody's just flooding Washington, D.C. like they've done other things.
Yeah.
But yes, ideally, I'd love to see an event going on with, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 people showing up out there, making some waves, getting put in the paper, getting put on TV. And right now, in my opinion, we did it once. And I think they were just like, it happened, it's over, move on.
Yeah.
And nobody really talked about it. And we'll see if another one happens, because they want to keep us quiet.
Yeah. All right.
That's
Incoming.
I asked you. Okay. I had asked you to stay out. I'll give you the paper. Okay. Fries, hamburgers,
Kiddos.
all my videos too. It's inevitable. Sorry,
Yep.
guys. This is what happens.
Yep.
I told you the food. Hamburgers and you name it. Hot dogs. But yeah, so that it would be awesome, man. And then people are like, oh, it's SEC, they're closed. What are you doing? And I'm like, it's symbolic. You guys don't understand. I don't really care about the people in the building. It doesn't matter. It's symbolic of standing out there, just like going to Washington D.C. when people gather in certain areas. That's just symbolic.
Yeah.
You're just putting on you want people to see you. And what better place versus, well, FINRA will be nice. That's what we're talking about for the MLTLP community.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Department of Justice, I think being able to get in front of them, and then SEC buildings, because they have the control to a degree.
Yeah.
Of course, we see that you don't, but that's kind of how I see and ideally, hopefully see it lay out. And then, of course, I would love nothing more to get some Congress involved, hopefully get a couple senators, somebody on board with us, more CEOs on board. That would be fantastic. Get them on board and, start to show up like that. And, that'll bring more people out, and maybe even doing some electronic protesting. I mean, if we can get people all at once, mass calling the
Yeah.
SEC corporate offices, all on the same day while we're out gathered somewhere. We got
Well,
everybody across America.
one of my viewers had set up a calendar for people to call, like every 5 minutes, call FINRA, every 5 minutes, call SEC, and
Yep.
end up getting his phone number blocked. So like he calls, doesn't go through anymore, so he has to go from like a Google account, and then they block that one. So they're actively known. They're like, I know those call center people go, FINRA, this is so and so, and they go, oh god, another one of you MMTLP people. We can't talk to you. Click. And that's what they do. And the poor little call center guys, the brokers. You call a broker every 5 minutes, and you'll get a different answer every 5 mints from them, because they have no idea what's going on. They just know that their lives are being made miserable by these 65,000 investors who, want to know what's going on.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
want answers, man.
Yeah, we have answers, and I personally think getting members of the Senate and House Finance Committee folks involved and on this is really important. And I'm still trying to get everything together and organize. I want to make like a 501c3 or something that's sort of a lobbying group specifically for retail investors, because
that's exactly my plan.
Yeah.
And that's what I pitched to Jeremy Frommer. Now, I will tell you, you may want to stay in this, brother. Jeremy Frommer is working on the CEO block, and that if you can go to that town hall, that's actually what he's talking about doing, is taking CEO blocks to the next level to be a 501(c) and get the lobbying. Because I agree, we need to lobby the crap out of them, but we need a lobbying firm that continuously lobbies for retail.
Exactly.
And he's pushing for an putting together, getting the Congress to put together an investigative team, that they have to start actually truly investigating, and that's the pressure we need to apply.
So, and this is one of those things, like it is one of the few bipartisan issues you can get members on both sides to agree upon is proper regulation of the markets. And granted, you also have on both sides groups that do their insider trading and things like that, but it's about split halfway down the middle, and party affiliation really has nothing to do with it, about trying to stop trading among members of Congress and their families, trying to make meaningful regulations that are properly enforced across these things. And a lot of them, there's a few that are heavily involved with keeping up on the news on this stuff, but there's a lot of them that aren't. And while they might be on our side, they don't specifically know what's happening to retail investors at the hands of these hedge funds and brokerages, institutions. And if you can point out to them, hey, we understand you're getting money from this super PAC that is funded by hedge funds. On the retail side, we can provide just as much campaign financing. And so why don't you listen to us? Because when they get blown up, we get all their money, and we'll be able to pay for a lot of campaign financing, and sort of like sweeten that pot for them. That yes, these are your voters, and they're providing money for your campaigns, and sort of set it up as a single issue lobbying effort, like not paying attention to any other side of politics, not paying attention to universal health care or abortion or anything else, like just members of Congress who are on board with helping retail investors. And I personally think that's probably one of the best methods we can do, because we don't have the power. We gotta pay to play, right? That's just the sad part of our politics.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if we can come together and unite, that was the other thing. Even Charles Payne said it. And that's why I reached out to you and said, I want to talk to you, because you and I have never talked. I want to see where your head's at. I watched some of your videos and stuff, but people have opinions about you just like they do me. I've heard good and bad, but I always like to find out. And so when we can connect, if we can get all of these people to really focus their firepower and their way of thinking and set aside your stock for a minute and really focus, because here's the thing. So 65,000 people on MLTLP, our population's what, 360 million?
Yeah.
That's a drop in the hat. Congress doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you have cussing on here or not, but Congress doesn't care. Congress doesn't care about 65,000 people.
Yeah.
And then even with the AMC community, Adam Aaron said 3 to 4 million people.
Yeah.
We don't know what that real number is.
Yeah.
I don't know that for sure on GME. Maybe it's 300,000, 500,000.
Yeah.
You know, you got GTI, but really, how many retail investors are there that are screwed up in some stock? They're not listening. They're not paying attention. We're a pimple on them.
Yeah.
You know, it does it because we're spread out. And you know, whatever. And so until we get loud enough and we unite around one solid mission, like you're saying, where we're going to lobby and all of our pressures applied, all of our money, everything we can put together, they're not going to listen to us.
Yeah.
And they're the only ones that can help us. Gary Gensler said it. And it's like, he literally said it in that interview with, what's his name? I can't think of his name all of a sudden. The former.
Dave Lauer.
No, the other guy that come into our picture to get some video footage. He started his own show. He used to, God dang it, what's his name? Can't believe I can't remember his name. Anyway, yeah, he did the interview with him a while back. Got him to come on and he talked to him. And Gary Gensler said that he doesn't have the resources nor the means.
Yeah.
And then these big hedge funds basically got the money and the lawyers. And that's what happens. Every time he wants to do something, they shut him down with the money. And he needs Congress to step in and enact laws. Congress is the only one that can shut them down.
And so I want to write a piece of legislation, call it the Retail Investors Protection Act, RIPA, and you know, parts of it will be specific legislation about what, you know, these market makers and hedge funds can and can't do. So, you know, no more naked selling of any kind. I don't care about liquidity. If you want liquidity, raise the price. People will come up with stock. That's how you raise liquidity. You don't do it by inventing stock from thin air and selling that to people. So like, you know, and the punishments have to be meaningful. They can't be like, well, you naked shorted, it'll be 40 cents. Make it, you provided FTD. Okay. You owe 200% the value of the FTD to the person that you sold this thing to. And if you do it 3 times, you lose your license. That's it. Your company can't exist anymore.
Yep.
Things like that.
Jail time, brother.
Yeah.
Jail time.
Jail time. Yeah. You go to prison.
You gotta, you know what, the CEOs and executives, this is the world I come from when they talk about money from the top down. If you take out the top, and they're going to be punished at a severe level, because they don't now. They're publicly ran companies, just like PG&E, where I came from the West Coast. They got convicted of all those killings and those murders of those people from that town burning down where I came from, that area. But nobody went to jail. It just goes on PG&E's record. The stock's back up over 14, 15 bucks. Everybody still got bonuses, and all those people had lost loved ones. So that's what I want to push for. These guys, if you get a third strike and your corporation and you're the executive or you're the CEO, they got to get jail time.
You're going to jail. I mean, if you're going to count corporations as people, which what Citizen United has, then let's convict them like people. You know, if my negligence killed 85 people in a fire, I'd be in prison right now. So
yes, you would.
Why is a corporation that ignored upkeep on their power lines for 100 years get away with that? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, you know, stopping the naked trading. Next up is limiting dark pools entirely. Every trade must be lit. Man. We must know the price. So I don't care about paying for order flow, whatever. If a price is made, it gets reported and gets reflected. No more swaps. None of these debt swaps or equity swaps, where if you do have an FTD and you're about to have to punishment, you just trade that. You just trade that debt with someone else and it resets the whole clock. Get rid of that stuff. Give the SEC enforcement power. Oh, gotta go deal.
I'm on a call. Away from this door right now. 4-year-olds.
That's all right.
No, keep going, brother. Yeah. You're right on. You're spot on.
Give the SEC prosecutorial powers and law enforcement powers. What they don't have right now is that ability. Best they can do is levy a fine, and that fine is toothless. Or recommend criminal investigations to the FBI. And the FBI does it. I want the SEC to have guys with badges and guns. And so that when they say do this, and the corporation, the market maker, whoever doesn't do it, they come put them in handcuffs and perp walk them out the front doors in front of TV cameras. Right now they're like,
you know who?
Yeah.
You know who has guns and badges? Freaking IRS.
Yeah.
They can come arrest me because I'm selling crypto or I'm doing something and making some money over in my place. If I don't pay my proper taxes, they literally have the right to use deadly force to come and get us, the
Yeah.
average Joe, but the SEC can't go after these freaking white collar crimes.
Yeah.
So I agree, man.
Yeah.
Strap them on, give them a badge. They should have an
Yeah.
SEC enforcement team. Absolutely.
Oh, it's incredibly silly. Like, SBF from FTX. So many
Yeah.
acronyms. You were in the government, you know. He's what busted him was selling Bitcoin that didn't exist. Everything else he did was totally legal because there's no regulations for the U.S. economy. But it was him selling Bitcoin that didn't exist that was fraud, and that's what got him arrested. Well, we have market makers selling $100 billion or more per market maker of stock that doesn't exist. Yet that's not fraud, right? So why is it fraud when SBF does it with fake funny money, but not when an actual market maker does it with a tangible corporation that exists? So,
well, why are they focused on the coins?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're so focused on. Did you read the article last night? Paul Pierce, the Boston Celtics former basketball player, he was promoting. It was crypto. It was Ethereum Max, I think it was, some coin. He just paid he's paying a $1.2 million fine to the SEC because he was attached and he didn't report it properly that he was getting paid to promote this. Just like it was the same one that the chick, what's her name?
Crap.
Kardashian.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian. Yeah, and
Yeah,
things like Kim Kardashian put this as a paid advertisement, and they still find her. Like,
but they're going after it because it's a Wild West and there's no regulation, there's no control, and it's probably because it's not benefiting them. You know, the government, the Congress people, whoever, they're not getting any benefit out of it, and so they want to keep going after it. And it's like, well, wait a minute, you got your own, clean up your freaking own backyard, man.
Yeah,
you know. I mean,
but you know, they'll go after a Kim Kardashian or a Paul Pierce, but they won't go after Ken Griffin or
they will go after those Twitter guys.
Yeah,
whatever it was, those 7 or 8 Twitter guys,
little pump and number guys.
Yeah, and then they'll brag about it, and blah blah blah. And those guys made like $1 million. The last one they took, that other one too, in 2021 or 2022, I forget his name now. There's a big article out.
Oh, the one that did that penny stock in California. He made like $400,000. You're like, look at this, we got this guy. Like, okay,
we got this guy.
Yeah. What about the $100 billion that Citadel is doing right now? You know, Ken Griffin
or 60 what is it, $65 billion sold but not purchased.
That was 2021. So we haven't gotten the report for what 2022 was. And 2020 was 20 billion. So it'll probably be over 100 billion when they report it this time. I had a dude trying to tell me that it was just like options. The options have been exercised yet. Therefore that was the securities sold, not yet purchased. Like, that's not at all what that means. That's stock they sold that they've never provided for. Like, options have nothing to do with that. They do sell naked options, right? But those only get counted if they're exercised. They don't get counted if you're just there's apologists all over the place that want to If you ever counted anybody taking Citadel's side on Twitter or Reddit, you know that they're just full of shit. But
well, and it's all of them too. It's crazy. That whole Doug C. Few, how he came out and did that interview, and then all the crap. I went in and watched him for a while on Twitter and the stuff he was talking. I'm like, man.
Yeah. And like
you're gonna you're gonna bend rules if you continue to get away with them. Let's just make it plain and simple. If I can sell this rock even though I'm not supposed to, and I could sell it for $5 billion worth of these rocks, and I'm going to get fined, $350 million.
Yeah.
I want to sell 5 billion of these all day long until you catch me. And then once you catch me, I'm going to go, oh, sorry, here's your 350 million. And then I'm going to keep doing it like Citadel. What have they been busted 58 times already by the SEC? Come on.
Yeah. I mean, HSBC took that huge fine of this summer. They got busted selling $17 billion in securities that didn't exist. And then they paid $125 million fine. So they made $16.8 something billion in profit. Cool. like make the fine more than the crime, right? If I rob somebody and I get busted for it and they throw my ass in prison, they're also going to attach some sort of financial crime that's going to be greater than what I did as form of punishment. So why is it these financial guys don't have that same that same risk to their crimes? It's silly.
They get they
Yeah.
got some kind of immunity. You know,
Yeah.
it's a corporate thing. They just got this complete immunity, and they
Yeah.
just and then they get oh, dude. This is what pisses me off though. They get bonuses for this crap.
Mhm.
So even if something goes bad, they still get their bonuses. They
Yeah.
still get their freaking $30 million salaries. Nothing that stuff changes,
Yeah.
man.
I
You
mean,
know,
Goldman Sachs, AIG, all those dudes that got bailed out in 08, 09, to the tune of hundreds of billions, they still gave their full array of bonuses to all their employees. AIG
yep.
should not exist. They gave out like $3 trillion in policies and only had $100 billion to back it up. And they had to get bailed out of all that. But every single solitary person in that company got a bonus after they got their government bailout. It's, I'm
Ass backwards.
obviously I should have taken a Goldman job out of college, but I didn't. I was like, I don't want to
No,
live in
no
New York.
kidding,
I
huh?
don't work that job for
Yeah.
3 years and check out. But yeah, it's there needs to be strong enforcement, and we know that the reason there isn't strong enforcement is because that's who funds the campaigns, right? Like Gary Gensler and the SEC just came out saying, "Oh, we're going to reduce corporate fines by 75%." Cool. You take that slap on the wrist from $1 to $0.25. Awesome. Like, what? You're not doing anyone any favors. And like, if they come forward, we might eliminate the fines entirely. Like, hey, we just admitted to a bunch of crimes. Oh, okay, keep your money. That's kind of the. That's.
Well, it starts up, when you get the Congress side of it, right?
Yep.
What was there, 97 Congress people? That article came out, and Wellesley put it on Twitter. But 98, and I keep talking about 97 or 87 Congress people that were so far had been found to basically are trading stocks in the stocks that companies that they're making regulation on.
Yep.
Like, I mean, come on, you can't get any more crooked than that.
Yeah.
And so you're right, with the super PACs and all the money, it's pay to play. Congress, you may want to have, talk a good game and get into Congress, but ultimately it's a career that you can go in making $140,000 and come out and be a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's how screwed up our entire country is. So it starts from the top down.
Yeah.
And then I think you all realize we actually pay for all that.
Yep.
Because we're the ones that go to work. So that financial system, by the way, would not work if we all stopped working.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is all of us, 99% of us ants, we're out there working our butts off, paying into the system, right? Constantly paying. Then they're sitting up on their ivory towers, taking all that money from us, and they're using it, making all these bets, making more money. So it's literally, I put it out there, it's like that movie, the Bugs Life or whatever.
Yeah.
Literally the ants and the grasshoppers.
Yeah.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah. I can tell you got a 4-year-old. You know that.
Well, you know what? There's so many movies that show it. It's just the way society's set up.
Yeah.
If you claw your way to the top, if you fight your way to the top, you make yourself up to the top, and you become a grasshopper, and you live up here.
Yeah.
But you gotta crap on all that 99% because, I mean, we're the ones that do it, guys.
Yep.
I don't know how else to say it. Now, granted, there's nothing we can do because we need the system, right? I need my paycheck. I've got to pay my insurance. I got to pay this. I got to buy milk. Obviously, with these kids, I got to buy clothes, pay for their schooling, right? So we have to pay. We have to pay to be in the system.
Yeah.
But they are taking it and they are using it, and that's what I have the hardest time with. That's why I'm fighting so hard, is because it's kind of, we're the victims and they're using us, but yet we're allowing it.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get. Like,
so
why are we?
I think if we can't get through Congress, and it's been presented every time a new Congress comes in, they try to get this bill passed to ban trading, insider trading by members of Congress and their family. I do think that if they get it to a vote, it can pass. I do not think that if it comes to a vote, anyone wants to be seen voting against it, because their opponents will use that in every commercial. Look at this person supporting insider trading and all this stuff. You don't want to be that guy. So that's why I think they've kept it from coming to a vote for so long. But the tide does seem to be turning. I mean, you got guys like Josh Hawley and Sherrod in like Ohio, completely diametrically opposed to each other ideologically, but both of them can agree members of Congress shouldn't be trading stocks. And
And of course, you got Pocahontas and Bernie Sanders
yep,
are always talking about it
yeah,
on
yeah.
Twitter. So yeah,
So it's it's one of those things that we can if we push hard enough. I think we can get that one vote over that we need, and we can ban it. And once they can't do the trading anymore, all of a sudden a lot of interest will disappear for a lot of folks who are in Congress. Like, well, shit, if I can't start a trade, why am I even here, right?
yep.
So you might get some overturn. Let's say a 25% of members of Congress go, all right, I'm gonna take my pension, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go back to being a lobbyist or work for the law firm or whatever it was I was doing before. And then you get a bunch of people in who have no interest whatsoever in stocks. They just don't care, right? They just want to make sure that the market runs, it does its thing, but they're not there to enrich themselves, at least not that way. And so I think that's a good first step, is if we can get that insider trading bill passed, that will help open up the doorway for getting other ideas about regulating the market in there.
What would be nice too is when we got our government positions. Not only that, this has got to drive you nuts when you stop and think about this. But they can leave these government positions, especially like the SEC is very common for this FINRA.
Yep.
They leave, and then where do they go?
Yeah.
They go right over to these big boys like
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs and all these guys, get these big, fat, high-paying salaries saying, here you go. Thank you for all the work you put in for us. We ain't stupid. So not only that, I think they need to put some kind of rule into effect that they can't go to work for any kind of competing business.
That's what part of the Retail Investor Protection Act would be. No one is allowed to run the SEC who is part of private industry. Basically, if you want somebody to be your cabinet level position to run the SEC, it should be someone from a college, like a university finance department or something, someone who is an academic in these things, not somebody from Goldman Sachs, not somebody from GTS, not somebody from Citadel or whatever. Like the people who run these things should be the academics who aren't in it for the money. They're in it for the fact that they're nerds and they love bureaucracy. And likewise, like, you can't have people who are the lifetime bureaucrats bouncing back and forth between the investment banks and enforcement, going back to the investment bank, going back to enforcement. Nope, pick one or the other. Either you're a lifer, and if you leave, that's it. You're never coming back. Or if you already are on the outside, you can't come in and all of a sudden be an enforcer. I can't like go knock somebody over the head, get arrested, go to prison for mugging, and when I come out, be like, I'm gonna work for the cops now. I'm gonna be a cop, and I'm gonna regulate the guys who knock people over the head. Yeah.
Keep talking to the members real quick.
Yep.
Sounds like she has a poopy diaper or something.
Okay. All right. I'll hop into the questions here, see if anybody has anything to chit chat about.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. While he does the poopy diaper thing, such is life. I'm glad you don't have a poopy diaper, right? Yeah. Okay. I totally slept on my neck wrong, and my head is just, my neck's killing me. All right, so let's see here. Who's got questions there? Bill Coyne Houston, I love your shows, but this one is hypothetical situations, wishful thinking, etc. I mean, it would be great to make changes, but it's not focused on the how. It's just the wish. Well, the how is money. That's the how. It's you got to pay to play, and let's say we got 10 million retail investors out there. If we can get 5 million of them to join a 501c3 at 10, 20, $50 a year, that would be a strong enough financial weight that you can then throw behind these campaigns. Granted, I know people will be like, you know what, I don't want my campaign funding money going to this particular person because of this reason, which is why you'd have to set up a mission statement that's like, we're not going to focus on any other political platforms whatsoever. We're just going to be doing just if they're going to support like a Retail Investor Protection Act, and that's it. They might have all sorts of evils associated with them, but we would have to kind of just limit it to that one scope. I like as much it would pay me to like send money to Ted Cruz or something because he's completely off my politics. If he was behind a Retail Investor Protection Act, then that's the one campaign issue you'd have to go for. So that's the how, Bill. That's the how. Money. Sad thing is, money talks, bullshit walks. That's where we are. Bum. Okay. Let's see here. Seems to be a lot of people getting deleted for reasons in the chat today. Looked like we had a Nazi in here earlier. Is that what happened? Goodness gracious. Yep. Looks like we had a straight up Nazi dude in here. Cool. Let's okay. Export that guy. We're gonna click that. Sorry. There was a Nazi that was in the chat being a monster with his little swastikas and stuff, so make sure we got that reported and deleted. All right.
So many trolls, man. Any good questions? I missed anything good?
So, all right. Welcome back. Poopy diaper all taken care of?
Yeah, mother-in-law just came up.
Your microphone's off.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, no. Still not there.
Did you put me on mute? Put me on mute?
Mine's on. Did it turn off? See if that
Can you hear me?
All right. Try again.
Can you hear me? My mute's not on.
Weird. Okay. It's popping through.
It's not mine.
On that end.
Yeah, it's not.
One second. My headphones just crapped out. Reboot.
Yeah, it might be your headphones.
Okay. One more time?
I think it's your headphones.
So weird.
Yeah, it might be your headphones.
There we go. Okay. All right. Yep.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. Sorry. If it goes silent for a couple minutes, it just turns itself off. And awesome.
Oh.
Okay. So poopy diaper's taken care of, and we're good. Awesome.
Until they want to bug me again. But anyway, sorry guys. That's the life of being a dad. I'm sure plenty of you out there got kids.
Yep.
Any good questions pop up in the chat?
Well, basically just talk to one. Bill Coyne was talking about, we have a wish list, but we're really talking about how to accomplish these things. And I was just saying money. That's the only way that, say we got 10 million retail investors who are, kind of the apes total across the board. And half of those could pay a membership fee to like a 501c3. That would be a substantial war chest in which we could take to members of Congress and be like, hey, can you schedule us for an appointment? I'd love to sit down and talk with you about the Retail Investors Protection Act and what you can do for us and how perhaps we could help you with your next campaign. And that's how you do it. That's it. That's the simplest way.
So if you research the NRA, the NRA's development, now of course I'm a Marine, so I like my guns, but anyway, if you do some research in the NRA and just Google it and really look into their way their program's designed and put together, it actually lays out exactly what would be awesome with subdivisions of it, because that's exactly what you just said is exactly what I'd like to be able to accomplish and get started, is to have that retail similar to NRA, but the retail side. I called it what did I write? RITE was what I was kind of coming up with, the retail investor traders something I forget anyway. But yeah, the same idea. You pull people's money together. The NRA only has like 5.1 million members.
Yeah.
And they've been around over 100-something years, and they are one of the biggest lobbying freaking firms possible out there. I mean, they're full on involved in the politics, especially with gun rights and other rights. So if we could pull together retail traders, they're supposed to be, you might know this better than I, but I think they're supposed to be like up to 100 million people that trade stocks.
Oh, yeah, outside easily.
Of 401k.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so, I mean,
the apes portion of it are a minority. We're just a bunch of loud assholes. And so, yeah. But everyone else, they put their money into their mutual fund every month. They put their money in their 401k every month, and they don't think about it. But having a group that can make them aware of why their 401k isn't growing the way it should, or why their mutual fund is stagnating because they're lending shares out that get shorted into oblivion. And being able to mainstream that is, I think, a huge deal. There's, you I don't know if you ever watch like the local news. They'll have weird little segments of local news that happen to be produced by these private organizations as a news piece, and then they just give it to the local news as a 5-minute filler. So, as a 501c3, you could produce these things like, hey, everybody, this is Tom so-and-so, and I'm here to tell you about investment tips or whatever. And they put this little thing, and all of a sudden across all these little networks all over America, a bunch of older people who watch the news, because no young people don't, go, oh my goodness, I did not know my 401k was being abused that way. It says here.
What the SEC,
yeah.
basically what we're talking about is reforming the SEC.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be what the SEC does.
Yeah.
They're little investor ed commercials and crap. But
yeah,
dude, how cool would it be to put a commercials all over America? Like, how cool would it be to get stuff out there,
Yep.
And be educating? And I look at the educational side too. I mean, this program could be very educational to provide educational services about trading, basic stock market fundamentals, all those kind of things. So you get the real information, not the misinformation. Because unfortunately, I've said some misinformation because I repeat crap that I didn't know for sure, right?
Yeah.
But be able to provide a service that people could, it's fighting for them, educating them, and at the same time, part of what I want to do is, with the rallying and getting out there and bringing in new members, and getting them hyped up, but at the same time, teaching them about getting out of debt, about getting into investing and the purpose of investing, and changing people's lives and getting the younger people. My God, we need to get the young people. We need to be in high schools. We need to be in schools teaching these things. We need to get them educated in finances, man, because then they're not 40 years old like I am, 44, and didn't start investing until I was 39 or 40.
Yeah.
I'm so far behind the freaking curveball. I got to take these risky money making squeeze plays right now to try to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jigish Shakula, are you guys starting a 501c or just talking about it? If someone had one started that was open in its accounting, would you support it? Yeah, totally. I mean, if the goal is to get Congress to pass retail investment protection, I'm all for it. I don't care who does it. If I have to do it, awesome. If I don't have to do it, even better. But
it just needs to be done.
Yeah, it just needs to be
done.
Yeah, and
it's gonna take work and effort, but it needs to be done.
Yeah.
And there's another thing, Houston, reason why I agree that needs to be done is, and maybe you can agree with me too, it's up to you, but we look at, like I said, I got into trading late. I think with these new apps and Robinhood and Webull and all these new ways, E-Trade, Fidelity, with these new apps, more and more people are trading. More and more people are investing in these apps.
Yep.
I think the generational change of people that just buy, baskets of stocks or do mutual funds, 401ks, the younger folks are now starting to take that on. They're starting to see the money they can make and invest in themselves. So I think we have an entire shift that is occurring to where, your Edward Jones on every street corner is not going to be needed anymore.
Yeah.
As the baby boomers start to leave, my generation, and then I'm not sure your age, but you seem like you're a little behind.
I'll be 42 this year, so I'm pretty close.
Then we're the same age.
Yeah.
Okay. So the ones that are directly behind us, the 30-year-olds, 25-year-olds that are really getting into investing, this is an entire shift. And I think the whole market is going to change completely. And that means that we're going to need something to support those investors.
Yeah.
Before, it didn't matter. Everybody just paid in through their work and nobody paid attention. And they were like, well, let it come back around, like my neighbor. He's griping. He's like, dude, why are you fighting this? Just leave those douchebags alone. He says, the market will come back. It always does. And I'm like, dude, that's the problem, though. Every freaking 10 or 15 years, they destroy the market. That means in another 15 years, when we hit retirement age, the market's going to get screwed again. And then we're going to be sitting there broke, going back to Walmart to supplement our income.
Exactly.
Because they robbed us again in the market. That shit's got to stop.
So the aunt so earlier today, I took my aunt out to lunch, and so when her aunt passed away, she was left a whole bunch of Wachovia stock, and she passed away in January 2008 or something, and so she was left all this Wachovia stock, and 9 months later, gone. like what had been her aunt's retirement was going to basically be my aunt's retirement. Disappeared, and then Wells Fargo scooped up and bought all of Wachovie's assets for pennies, and that was it. This
Yep.
several $100,000 of stock gone entirely, poof, because of, well, lack of regulation of the markets. I'm sure everybody in the chat has seen The Big Short, and there's the scene where they go to the rater, the people who rate securities, and they say, "Why'd you rate this AAA?" And they're like, "Well, if we didn't, they'd just go to Moody's, and Moody's rated AAA." Like, that's not regulating. That's yeah, okay. So why do you get to choose the person who rates your securities? Why isn't the person who rates your securities just rate them regardless of whether you choose them or not? Why can't they be like, yeah, it's garbage, don't buy these mortgage-backed securities, 20% of what's in there is worthless. So we have an incredibly broken system that's built upon these self-regulatory organizations, and they constantly investigate themselves and find themselves innocent. And it blows up in our face every 10, 15 years.
So I'm gonna have to go, Houston. I hit my point. I've got to go take care of those kids, but I think the wife's calling too.
Okay.
We should probably do this again, man. You seem more on board with the way of my thinking is.
Yeah.
I love talking and hearing the things you're saying, man. You can tell it completely makes sense that you want to fight back too, man.
Yeah.
You want to fight for the retail investors. So hopefully here in the near future, brother, we can do this again.
Of course.
Just reach out to me, my contact.
Yep.
And I'll tell your viewers I appreciate it. If they get a chance, they can run over to my xxxthemarine on YouTube. I do talk a lot of crap. I'm a pretty mean guy because I believe in what I believe in. And if you say something in my comments, I'll probably say something back.
Yep.
But regardless,
they used to say that in my comments. I'm so mean to my listeners. It's
yeah. But it's been great. It's been great. Thanks for allowing me to come on, man, and chat with you. And like I said, we'll do this again, hopefully here in the near future.
My pleasure. All right. Have a great one.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
All right. I'll hop out of there, and now I'm big. So I'm still in my Zoom, which I think my Zoom may just end on me if no one pops in here, but that's okay. All right, everybody. Normal show time? Yeah. How's everyone's President's Day going? Hope it's going well for all of you. My neck is better than it was yesterday. I've got a little more movement, but holy smokes. I hate that. Like, you go to sleep, you sleep hard, and you just have your head in one position all night long. When you wake up, it doesn't move at all. Like, I couldn't look up yesterday. It was awful. So a little bit better. And the cat's here hanging out. So let's hit the chat. Did I miss? I only had that one super chat, so that's okay. So I didn't miss any of the super chats, so that's good. All right, I'll just scoot up towards the top here, and we'll start working our way down like usual, right? Okay. Grape asks, Houston, any chance AMC hits $9 before the vote? Trying to exit AMC for more GME. No longer feel confident, Adam Aaron. By the way, 99% of the water on Earth is uncarbonated, therefore the Earth is flat. I've heard that joke before. It's a good one, though. Yeah, AMC can hit that. I personally think if you are someone that had bought into AMC at $25, $30, $40, whatever, your best bet to lower your cost basis is Ape at the moment. And that's because, those one Ape share will become a one AMC share. And the value of that share will probably be 2.5, 3, 4 times what it is right now. And so if like at this moment, today was the day that they chose to do the swap, those 10 Ape shares that you paid $23 for will be worth $50. So you just doubled your money. And that's probably the best way to lower your cost basis. And if you're looking to get out, then get out with that. There does seem to be a lot of grumblings about voting no on the recombination and reverse split. I voted yes because, to be honest, like, that's it. How else am I gonna get out? I mean, I'm pretty much at where my cost basis is because I bought in between $5 and $8, so I'm still broken even across this, but I don't see the stock all of a sudden going to $200-$300 where all those folks who bought it 20 or 30 bucks are above water again. I don't think that type of squeeze is going to happen. Not with, Adam Aaron selling another 100, 200 million shares to raise enough money to clear out his debt. And I mean, they could raise money, clear out the debt, or they could raise money and buy up Regal, right? So they'll give them a foothold in Europe, but they'll be taking on a lot of obligations that Regal stuck with. So, what have you? Tom Zock is from Germany. He's here. Awesome. All right. Corey Jones, SEC is looking to Binance. Curious. Oh, Binance is toast. Binance did all the things that FTX and Luna and everyone else has done. They committed all sorts of crimes. They were fudging numbers. They were like moving stuff from one account to another as their accountants were looking at it. Like, oh, we've got plenty of money in this account. See? Now wait 5 minutes, and then you can look at this account. They'd move all the money over here. This account also has plenty of money too. Now, if you want to look at this account, it'll be about 10 minutes for it. Oh, that's what Binance is doing. It's another giant scam. They're all going to prison. Every single one of those guys. Doesn't matter what exchange it is. I mean, you got the dude at Coinbase is dumping all stock right now, getting the hell out. They're, the writing's on the wall. All these exchanges are going to go under. And what comes from the ashes, I'm not sure who will survive and what will be left. Michael Mystery, you define up marketing, Houston. I do no marketing whatsoever. I am terrible at selling myself. I really am. I need to be better at that. I mean, I got one T-shirt design made. So if you look at some of the cool designs, I have to spend the day getting them from the DMs I have and making shirts and stickers and things. Speaking of stickers, I think I still have. Oh, that's what I didn't do. Monkey, I was supposed to go to the P.O. box. I didn't go to the P.O. box. I've got one. I've got one good sticker and one that's got this sticky crap stuck on it. So I got 2 stickers, 1.5 stickers left. And there might be a self-addressed stamped envelope in the mailbox that I just haven't checked. But that last person will get a real sticker. Second to last person will get, second last person will get a real sticker. Last person will get the one with the sticky stuff stuck on it. And anyone else will get a Valpak coupon until I get more stickers. So those are there. So self-addressed stamp envelope to the P.O. box down below, and you'll get a sticker or a Valpak coupon. One or the other. Okay, Monkey Butt. And this show will be over at 5 when the P.O. box will be closed. So tomorrow, Monkey, P.O. box tomorrow. Remind me. Put that on your list. That's your job. You're my assistant. What's this? Adam Aaron notified the ape trade is illegal. What's happening? Like combining them? I don't know what that is. Bam. Oh, power just blinked. Internet still working? Internet is still working. Okay. All right. AMC ape trade illegal. Nope, that did it as Mac. No, I want AMC, not Mac. I don't see anything popping up in news about that. I get Apple. No, oh, you just because you corrected ape to Apple. Okay. I got nothing popping up in news about that, about Adam Aaron being notified about it. Send it to me. I would love to see. Cat, you're in the way. I can't see around you. Don't hit the thing. Keep monkey butt. Nope, don't hit the thing. Keep monkey butt there. All right. Query writer. I, as a Newfoundlander, parody of Molson Canadian, I am Canadian commercial. What? Did I ever tell you guys about the story of Molson? Might as well talk about Molson. All right, let's Google Earth this sucker. Oh yeah, and it's stuck on that camera. So the monkey cam is the go-to right at the moment because the other camera's not working because it's on Zoom. I got Google Earth. Okay, we're gonna leave the little archipelagos here. Head towards the town of Molson, Washington. This is quite possibly one of my favorite ghost town stories. Okay, I want you to look where Molson is. Here's the Canadian border, right? We got this little town here, Molson, little ghost town. It's quite preserved. There's quite a few buildings left from the ghost town. Mostly ranches and farms and things in this area. So, is it John Molson the Third, I believe? And here, well, there we go. All right, John Molson the Third. Not the original Molson, the founder of Molson Beer and banks and shipping, all sorts of things, and not his son who expanded the business, but the third generation. And the third generation is always the one that ruins the company, hands down. Third generation ruins everything. First generation is the bootstrap founder, gets it started. Second generation is I watched dad work so hard at this. I must be better than my father. And third generation is, why do I have to do anything? I've never had to work a day in my life. And they're like the Anheuser-Busch family got destroyed by the third generation. Third generation people suck. So John Molson III, I think his name was John Molson, whatever, Molson III. He invested in this gold mine, the China-Poland mine. I don't know if they'll pop up on the map here. It's in one of these hills. I can't remember which side of the hill it's on. But there's a gold mine that was here, and they founded this town of Molson to help support the gold mine. Well, they founded the town. They advertised all over the country, hey, come to Molson and help work this mine, work in the bars and the saloons and the brothels or whatever. And they stood all these postcards showing paddle wheel boats working their way up the creek. Paddle wheels cannot work their way up any creek in this area. It was all fake. So, but they got a lot of people to move here. The town's population swelled to several thousand. And the problem was they thought they were in Canada. And they're not. Canada is, what, a mile? So, come on. Click. About a mile and a half south of Canada. But they thought they were in Canada. But they were in the United States. And it turns out, in the United States, you had the Homestead Act, where you had to homestead a town site. And so somebody came along and filed paperwork with the government and homesteaded the entire town of Molson. Therefore, everyone in Molson, all their homes and shops and businesses and everything, they did not own. This guy who homesteaded it ended up owning it. And so they moved the town next door and homesteaded there. It's New Molson, which Old Molson here is Old Molson. And they moved up just across the creek to New Molson. And there ended up being fights, lots of fights, street fights, like brawls. 500 men punching each other in the face between Old Molson and New Molson. One night, the people from New Molson snuck into town, packed up the post office, and moved it to New Molson. And a huge fisticuffs fight started in the streets. And like people, died. It was crazy. So they fought over this thing, and then like 3 months later, after they moved Molson, the mine played out, and everyone had to move away. But anyway, Molson Beer, the legacy, is here in Washington State. I made an article about this years ago. I called Molson the town founded by idiots for morons or something like that. What did I call it? Sorry. Molson. See if we can find it. Molson, Washington, founded by idiots. That was what it was called. So if you want to read more about Molson in the chat, there you go. I gotta turn on you. That's what you do. Boom. There. All right. Turn off the Google Earth. So yeah, Molson, Washington, founded by idiots. It's a funny read. It talks kind of about just what a bunch of blundering fools all those folks were. But anyway, as a Newfoundlander and someone who's Molsoning it up, I'm sure you'll appreciate that story. Oh, what the? Oh, because it was on Big Houston. Well, turn it off. I meant to click on Zoom because it's currently on the Zoom camera. Now there's nothing except me in the corner in a monkey cam. Hi, turning off that one. Going back to Zoom. There we go. Go back to monkey butt. There she is. Okay. There you go. All right. This is why I need to engineer Kitty. Someone to take care of all this crap for me. I can just be like, Jamie, can you pull that up? And then Jamie does it. Okay. I don't know what is going on there. All right. Wait, why is that? Okay, some of these comments are hidden that I don't think should be hidden. Can I unhide things? I don't know how to unhide, but sorry, Yucca Frita. I don't think your comment should have been hidden. You're just saying thanks for everything you do, which I'm okay with. Wait, Iggy, why'd you hide Yucca Frita? They're doing okay. Okay, then unhidden. All right. That's why you're hitting the wrong. You're hitting the wrong person. Okay. All right, I met the guy that was like, shh, calling everyone shills. Bum, bum, bum. I read AMC cites improper sale of ape to separate classes. Any thoughts on this? I have not seen it. I read, so I have no thoughts. In did they generate like an A and B of AMC because they weren't allowed to do that? So if they made like B shares or something, then they're doing it wrong. They would have to file all sorts of stuff with the SEC to be able to do something like that, and probably get voter approval. Where you going, monkey? Sad Boy Incorporated Houston, can I come onto your show to promote my new crypto coin? It was inspired by Problemo coin. You mean the coin I can't afford to give to anybody because it's too expensive to give to people? Hopefully you weren't inspired by that. That was a massive failure on my part. Yeah. Let's make a free coin and get to everybody. Oh, it's going to cost me $100,000 to give it to people. Well, that didn't work. Well, let's talk about it, sad boy. Send me a message. We'll figure out what's going on. Oh, now we are to the Nazi person. And they're gone. Excellent. Okay. Okay. There's quite a few angry people showed up in the chat today, didn't they? Lots of shill talk going on. Well, there you go. Okay. Um. Also, there's also nonsense going on in the chat. Well, I'm sorry, I got scrolling to do to get past certain things here. Miss Missy made time out to watch Monkey Butt fight the cat for the bed. I realized it was happening too late that Monkey finally got fed up and did her bed thing. I don't know where she ran off to. She just, I don't have the roommates home to be loud so the door's open. Okay. Oh my goodness, there's so many conversations. Sorry, it just takes me a while to get through all these. Tyler English, hedge funds will find greasy ways to get in. Don't you think they pay off the university system through funding of grants and research? They might. I mean, heck, if one benefit is that people in universities get funding for all their research, then fantastic. You know what? I'm going to get these brainiacs by paying them a whole bunch of money to do all sorts of research they can't afford to do. And I guess that's one way to do it. I think, you know, trying to get academics in charge at the SEC, at Treasury, at the Federal Reserve is probably more important, because yeah, you can still have folks that are in it because they're secretly being paid by Goldman Sachs or something. But the likelihood of not having someone who's secretly paid by Goldman Sachs in charge of these things is greater than just like literally hiring someone from Goldman Sachs to run this stuff. I just think it gives you better odds at having somebody who doesn't completely suck because they spent 40 years studying these things and not 40 years figuring out how they can screw everybody over. It won't be guaranteed. There'll probably be people who suck in there and take us back a step every once in a while. But you know, gotta do what you can do. I don't think we should have the inmates running the prison on this. Yeah. All right. Oh, and there goes the reset of the chat. Okay, so I'm getting right almost to the end of the interview portion. Okay, that's where I got there. So I'm only an hour and 15 minutes, but no, I'm only 30 minutes behind, so we're cool. That's not so bad. Man, there's a lot of angry people in the chat today that got their messages deleted. I'm sorry, guys. It's such a controversial topic, trying to get regulations of the markets. Just absolutely, just the most controversial topic I think I've had on this show. It's amazing how many people are angry about that. Okay. Miss Missy Houston, can we chat at some point? After DX with my tumor, I lobbied the cap for healthcare reform. We had bills passed having to do with waiting period for med eliminated case of imminent death. Oh, medical debt, I guess, being eliminated. Yeah, we could talk, Miss Missy. there's all sorts of problems with healthcare. I mean, there's a guy in my chat on one of my videos from this last week who's really angry at me for supporting universal healthcare, and he's like, it doesn't work. And I provide him examples of how it works in every country in the world. Well, Canada has to wait 4 to 6 months for operations. I'm like, we have to wait 4 to 6 months here, and it bankrupts us. Like, and so we have to wait 4 to 6 months, and it's 3 times as expensive. That's not true. I'm like, don't tell me it's not true. It is true. My third video ever was me crunching the numbers and showing that if we had universal healthcare in this country, we would save $15,000 per worker. $15,000 per worker in this country is how much every company and worker would save if we had universal healthcare. If we had universal healthcare, the taxes that are taken out for Medicare and Medicaid would pay for the entire healthcare system for every human being in this country. So that 1.4 trillion that we spend every year in Medicare and Medicaid taxes will be enough to cover every American. And that's just assuming that we adopt a system like the UK NHS, right? Which, we pay $11,000-$12,000 per year per citizen in healthcare, and the UK pays like $3,000 to get the exact same coverage without charging anybody any money. There are ways to do it. Other countries have much better access to healthcare. If you're rich in the US, you got great access to healthcare, but not all of us are rich, and we're stuck with whatever crappy insurance our jobs give us, or that we can get on that we can afford on the marketplace, the bronze level that has a $15,000 deductible and a $100 copay. Cool, right? That doesn't help anybody. All right. Oh, power just blinked again. Internet still working? And it's still working. All right. We'll see. We'll see if I have power much longer. If I just blink out of existence, it's because the power went out. FYI. So take note of that. All right. Cameron Mirza, if Monkey Butt can kick Batman off her bed, then we can do this. That's right. And then she just ditched. She left entirely. Monkey, where are you, buddy? You're the star of the show here. I need my Ed McMahon. People talking about what they voted. You voted yes or no. Seems to be 50-50 in the chat there. All right. I got to the end of the interview there. Okay. Now give me questions, people. You guys are having lots of conversations with each other, but no one's asking questions. See, Houston, your channel's the only one I watch. Thanks for all the fun and info. Monkey Butt is the best dog along with Cat. Monkey Butt is just a fantastic dog. Except she's gone. Where are you, Monkey? What are you doing? I don't know where she went. I know how to get her here. Oh, that's where you are, huh? That was quick. That was quick, wasn't it? Come on. I know. We went through town today. She got treats at all the shops. She's fat and happy. She got a big chunk of fish at the fish and chips place. She's just gonna be a fat dog today. Are we fat dogging it? Fat dog for midterms? Fat dog for midterms. All right. All right. There you go. That's it. That's all you get, buddy. Get back on your bed. Come on. On your bed. Honey Horse, did Houston talk about the Antara deal where they might have acquired ape illegally? People have mentioned it, but I've not seen a single thing pop up in my news about that. So, let's see. Maybe I can. I'll do Antara ape AMC and see what pops up. News. Nothing pops up within the last 6 days, and nothing pops up there. So I don't know if it's popping around on some of the Reddits. I haven't seen it yet. So send me a link if you got it, guys, because you keep saying in the chat, but I don't have it. So send it over to me to Twitter or whatever. Dylan Miller, Ruh-roh, I'm the third generation farmer. My dad's gonna hate me. Yeah, you don't be a third generation guy. You're just gonna destroy everything. That's what happens. Third generation. Sorry, you had too easy. Don't see shade him. You know when he accidentally plays both intros at the same time. You could have it like I don't know, programmed to be a left click or something, so you could have Monkey Butt pull up links and stuff. But no, I spread the wrong one. Has he ever done that twice in a show? No, I don't think I've done it twice in a show. The problem is, okay, so I have, my camera can only be used in one program at a time. So right now it's being used in Zoom. Because being used in Zoom, it can't be run on OBS. So I have to do the screen capture from Zoom to OBS, and that's how I have the camera going. So I had to make a separate subcategory in OBS called Zoom. But my habit is to go from scene to Big Houston, which is normally what you see. This would be Big Houston. And the scene is when I go to Google Earth or to Paint or Chrome or whatever. And my habit is to click back on Big Houston, which right now there is no Big Houston because the camera doesn't work. And I should have clicked on Zoom. So I forgot to turn the intro off on Big Houston. And that's where we got stuck. Okay, Squamps. If you could train Monkey Butt to push a button, you could have it be like programmed to be a left click or something, so you could have Monkey Butt pull link stuff. You want to be producer Monkey, right? Should be like that Catahoula that learned to talk via the buttons, or Bunny the Labradoodle who talks via buttons. Poor Bunny. Bunny is like, you ever seen that dog? Straight up like existential crisis. The top Bunny like 1,000 words, and Bunny like looks in a mirror and hits, "Who's this?" And they're like, "That's Bunny." She's like, "Why Bunny, not person?" I'm like, "Well, Bunny's a dog. Why Bunny a dog?" And they're like, "Because you were born a dog." "Why person a person?" "Because I was born a person." And Bunny like goes and stares outside, looks out the window, comes back and just hits sad. Has a full-on existential crisis. Taught this poor dog all this language. She's now like having full cognitive thoughts and is thinking in words, and is like, "Oh fuck, I'm stuck as a dog. This sucks." Poor Bunny. We gave Bunny the tools of language, and Bunny uses it to have existential dread. Javier, good evening, Houston. Did you hear about someone asking ChatGTP about a market crash in March? Makes you think it won't happen. I feel market's down, but not a crash. It's going to crash eventually anyway. Whether it happens in March or not beats the hell out of me. It all comes down to the plunge protection team. How much money is the Fed going to spend to keep the market afloat? We need to be raising interest rates faster than we have been. There's analysis I read yesterday that the interest rates should be at like 10.2% right now to really stave off inflation, but they haven't climbed there yet. And they're rising too slowly to like really get there. So, and they're all saying, oh, we'll have a soft landing, but they're saying we have a soft landing in 2007. And a year later, we did not have a soft landing. So, it is what it is. Chance Wayne, what's your opinion on journalists like Matt Taibbi and Glenn Greenwald? They suck. Straight up paid for by the Kremlin. Both those guys are. You cannot get either one of those people to criticize Putin. And if you can't criticize Putin, that's because Putin will fucking kill you. He struck a deal with you, and Matt Taibbi was living in Russia for years. Came back, did his investigative journalism, but the minute that it comes down to something that's like Russia did this, America's response, he'll take Russia's side every single time. Same thing with Glenn Greenwald. When the Pandora Papers came out and the Panama Papers came out, well, it was originally Panama Papers. The people who got the dump went to Glenn Greenwald. Glenn Greenwald wouldn't publish it. WikiLeaks wouldn't publish it because it had a bunch of info about Russian oligarchs and Putin, who had was illegally laundering the wealth of Russia out of the country into these banking safe havens in Panama and Bahamas and Belize and Cyprus and all sorts of stuff, Seychelles, and there's lots of instances where WikiLeaks, Glenn Greenwald, were offered dumps that had been hacked from Russian government computers, and they refused to publish, and they had to get published by somebody else later because we can't verify the authenticity. You guys never gave a shit before. It's just that you were paid to not ever say anything critical of Russia, and that's the way it is. Glenn Greenwald is a smarmy little snake, and Glenn Greenwald, Michael Tracy, Matt Taibbi, they're all bought and paid for. They do nothing but take the Kremlin talking point every single solitary time. So, I mean, right? Ask Glenn Greenwald or Matt Taibbi to criticize Putin. Just ask them straight up. They will read your tweet. They'll respond to other tweets of yours. If you ask them on Twitter, hey, say something critical of Putin, they'll just block you. That's what happens. And of course, the chat just reset, so I lost my spot. Okay. Miss Missy sent another YouTuber talking about Adam Aaron being illegal to your Twitter message. Okay, cool. I'll check that out. I won't be able to talk about it today, but I'll check it out and see what was said to be illegal. Anxiety Lord, watching in Florida. Now I've seen your show in 4 states, 6 countries. I can see it on Friday. Well, welcome back. Not a fan of Florida, but like the weather. There you go. Give Florida a high five. Rod, avoid Canadian here. I hate having to see my doctor and not having to worry about paying the bill. Yeah, it's just gotta suck, doesn't it? One of my friends was doing school in Paris and had to have an emergency appendectomy, right? Get her appendix out. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, how am I going to afford this? Whatever." And she had the surgery, and she was like, "Oh, how is my American insurance going to cover these things?" And then they gave her like $3,000 and sent her home. She's like, "What?" Like, "Well, yeah, you can't work, so you need to have money for the next month, so you got to pay your bills." And she's like, "What? You gave me money?" There's a really good All right. It was Frontline documentary, maybe 10 years ago. Sick Around the World, 2008. So this is old. This is uh this is 15 years old. But this is a really, really good documentary. This guy, no, go away. He goes to I gotta put the monkey cam back on me. There we go. He goes to like 6 countries or something. I think it goes to like UK, Switzerland, Japan, Taiwan, maybe France or something, and and investigates how they pay for healthcare, because some of them have universal healthcare, some of them have mandatory private insurance, some of them have non-profit insurance and stuff. And I think it's in this documentary. They interview this guy in France, and the guy had gotten, he's at stage 3 or stage 4 cancer. When they discovered it, they had all sorts of surgeries and chemo and radiation and all this stuff. And when he got done with it, they told him take the year off. Like, you've been through a lot. Here's a year's worth of wages. Just chill out, get healthy, and whatever. And so, like, the guy just spent a year on vacation, and then was able to go back to work after that, because the health program paid for it. Like, in France, if a woman has a baby, she gets the entire year off. Not only does she get an entire year off for maternity, twice a week the government will send somebody to your house to like help you do laundry and clean up and cook dinner for you, because you need some time to yourself and not just the baby. Not only that, but a whole bunch of women will have babies in France in May. Like, their goal is to have a child in May, because every year in August the daycare opens up for newborns. So if your child's 3 months old, they qualify for the daycare, but it only opens up every August. So all these women shoot to have babies in May, so that come August they can get their infants into the free government childcare programs. I think my video just ended for Zoom. 40 minutes of idle time. Crap. Okay, so we're gonna be stuck on this camera because Zoom won't work anymore. But anyway, this is a really good documentary. I'm gonna put it into the chat here. I know it's like 15 years old, but it's still relevant. We pay even more for health insurance now. But I recommend it. It's an hour long. It will open your eyes to just what a shitty system we have compared to the rest of the world. And the Europeans and stuff who are in this chat, they know we got such a garbage system. I think they interviewed a doctor from the UK in this, who was in the US for a conference, had a heart attack while he was in the US, and was charged a $600,000 bill. And he's like, I am never going back to America ever again, because they're not getting a dime out of me. So, that's the way it is. And for some reason, so many people in the US are like, that's the way I want it. I want to go bankrupt from healthcare. No, fuck you, dude. You have no idea what a crappy system we have. Okay. Yep. Yeah, Zoom's done. So, might as well be Houston cam. Here, we'll just do it from the corner. Why not? Okay. Exhibit, king of all creation. So if I get better insurance, I'll get better healthcare? Yep. That's basically it. Okay. Suit, Houston, give me your thoughts on the GME squeeze. I mean, I don't know if there's any new thoughts about the GME squeeze. We're waiting. We're waiting for something. Something to happen. Either the market to go kaput, or for GME to take some sort of squirrely action that traps the shorts. And that's kind of what we're waiting on. We're just sitting back and waiting. Waiting. That's what we do. So there's nothing new. There's nothing new there, Suit. Daphne, Houston, why does the sky appear blue? The sky appears blue due to what's called Rayleigh scattering off of nitrogen atoms in the atmosphere. So our atmosphere, air, is like 75% nitrogen. And the way light scatters randomly off of nitrogen atoms, sends away the long wavelengths and makes the short wavelengths much more visible. Blue being a short wavelength, red being a long wavelength. And when the sky starts to get red, hey kitty, you're back. When the sky starts to get red, it's because the sun is far away, looking through a whole bunch of atmosphere, and all the blue light has been scattered over the people where the sun is above, and the red wavelengths make their way through the majority of the atmosphere to our eyes, and that's why the sky is blue. All right. All right, Houston. This is from Yanni. I've got 1,000 euro to burn. GMG or no labs? Man. I think when those start to pay off, they're gonna be pretty close timeline wise. Except, I think no labs will have a bigger payoff sooner. And if you guys don't know, no labs is the company working on the non-invasive glucose monitor for people who have diabetes, and they finished stage 1 trials, which apparently were pretty successful. They're going to be working for stage 2 trials here. They got 2 more stages of trials to go through before they can seek FDA approval for their device. My throat is still really dry, and so that might be a year, 2 at the most before they finish stage 3. Hopefully, you can do it in a year. But if they get FDA approval, the minute they get FDA approval, that company's a $100 billion company. They will have every insurance provider, for every Medicare, Medicaid, they will all pay for that system. And because, imagine you got a device on your wrist that tells you in real time what your blood glucose reading is. Lets you know when you need an insulin shot. Lets you know when you need a cookie, right? Because you got low blood sugar. It will tell you in real time, and it will save lives. Because then people won't be wasting insulin and injecting when they aren't quite sure if they should. And in combination with the $35 cap on insulin, this will be great for people. There are other companies in the market that are trying to make a non-invasive glucose monitor. It's just that No Labs is ahead of them. They're the ones that are doing official FDA approved testing right now. And so GMG will be big, but it might be a few years before they get big productions of their batteries out. So I think No Labs will probably be sooner. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Artemis, the monkey butt admirer. Admire that monkey butt. There's the monkey butt. There's the butt of the monkey right there. Oh, check it out. Okay. Kitty. Welcome, Artemis. I gotta figure out how to put these things, the alert boxes, and make them work again. But they were so loud last time I couldn't control the voice, and people were like, you need to turn those things off. They're so loud. I don't know how to do I don't know. Well, I used to have like the yay, somebody subscribed or whatever, and it'd make a ding. It would show the super chats, but it was so loud and I couldn't get the ding to go away. M. Hobson, can you share a top line of some of the unexpected discoveries by James Webb Space Telescope? What's your perspective? I'll have to make a list. I can't think of anything off the top of my head at the moment for James Webb. I'll have to go back and read, because I'll confuse what telescopes have seen what. So M. Hobson, I'll get there. I just right now, nothing on top of my head is coming to mind. Anxiety Lord, if birds came from dinosaurs and dinosaurs had eggs, doesn't that mean the egg came before the chicken? Well, egg always came before. Because that's how evolution works. I mean, we came from something that probably laid eggs at one point. We also probably came from something that just did cell division. Go back far enough. So, there you go. Turtles came before chickens and before eggs. It's true. Turtles did come first. So did sharks and crocodiles. Daphne Houston is no labs competing with Acme Parent Company on their prickless glucose monitor. Yes. Yes, they are. Turtles aren't real. Crooked Finra. Houston, do you believe it's possible the Big Bang was caused by a massive black hole that imploded on itself after devouring everything in the universe? That is part of the Big Crunch theory. So that was a hypothesis that the universe sprang from the Big Bang, slowed down eventually, gravity took over, and it crashed back in on itself, and then exploded again. That theory has since been kind of thrown out simply because dark energy is taken over. And dark energy is pulling the universe apart faster than gravity can try and pull it back together. So we had to go, well, that obviously isn't what's happening. So yeah, it was a viable idea for the end of the universe and birth of a new one for a long time, until 1998 when we discovered dark energy. Kitty, you are in the way. I read, do you think more time and money should be spent on solving planetary problems rather than trying to go to Mars? I've said before, Mars is a waste. Mars is a waste of time, energy, and money. That if we want to go places, we go to the moon first, we establish a colony there, we mine the moon for helium-3, and we solve our energy problems and stop polluting our atmosphere with carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. So that's what we do. Yeah, let's see. I'm just gonna pull up Google Earth, so we've got like a map of the Earth in the background, and turn that on and turn that off. There we go. Turn that off. There we go. All right. So the Google Earth. I think that's just better. Look at our big blue ball while I'm stuck in the monkey butt camera. Look at this planet. Out here alone. Oh. There we go. All right. Cat, your butt is in the way. Evan Howe, what's the difference between a porcupine and Citadel office? The porcupine is a pricks on the outside. Classic. Daphne, how do you get rid of a Twitter troll that harasses you publicly for no reason, by attention and pot stirring, but not enough to get removed? I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know, because I've had a Twitter troll / stalker for like 6 years now. The only thing that slowed them down was their main account got deleted by Twitter, but I think they're back at it as of today. So yeah, me. I don't have the answer to that one. Where crap? I lost my spot again. It happens. Okay. Envoy, Houston. How can it be that we have been on the moon if there is the Van Allen belt issue with deadly radiation, as well with the chassis from the spacecraft just 5 centimeters thick aluminum? Just how? Faraday cage. That's it. Like, the radiation from the Van Allen belt can be protected via Faraday cage because it's high energy particles, and if high energy particles can't penetrate a Faraday cage, that's how you do it. It's that simple. They didn't know originally when they sent the astronauts out. They didn't know if the Faraday cage would hold up, but it worked. 5 centimeters thick is very thick. That's a thick amount of metal. Miss Missy typed feel instead of feed. That changes the context of that entire thing. Especially we talk about kids to feed / kids to feel. I'll forgive you. All right. Okay. Searching for things. Anxiety Lord Frontline is the best show on television. They do an awesome job. I'll be honest. Their investigative reporting is fantastic. It is top notch. Probably some of the best investigative reporting ever done has been done by Frontline. You look very good today. You look like dog's butt. uh, looking for chit chats here. Honey Horse Houston, if you want a solid stock play, it's ticker symbol TRKA, Troika Media, I believe that is. Bet it doubles in value this week. Yeah, they've been hammered down from a few bucks. We can bring up the old Chrome here, put Google Earth away for a minute, and TRKA, Troika Media Group. They are after hours. They jumped quite a bit, but they closed at like 22 cents for the last year. Let's see here. They were a couple of dollars. Granted, they came out in 2021. They had been over $1 as recently as June, and it's been hammered down ever since. Some report came out that showed that they're going to be posting profits, and they've got like hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, and they're making money, and the float isn't that large, and so they're expecting, I think, tomorrow. That would happen today. They're going to do an earnings call. Earnings call should be pretty good. So, yeah, the year over year, the revenue is up 1,000%. Net income is up 159%. Whatever. The profit margin is way up, and this is from the previous quarter 3. So the stock's at like 20 cents, and they expect it to go up quite a bit. But again, this is something that's subject to short hedge funds doing their manipulation. So will it go up like it should? Oh, I'm at my limit. I'm at my limit. My throat could do much more. Kitty, why must my throat still be sore a week later? Artemis, I'm so ridiculous that I placed my very first order for your t-shirt as soon as I posted on Twitter. Can't wait. I can't wait. It was showing me that the orders went through, but like they hadn't been fulfilled yet. How do I find out orders? I've got one. It still says unfulfilled. How the hell do I fulfill it? Shouldn't request fulfillment? Yes. That's okay. So I got to individually do that. Send fulfillment request. Okay. Oh, all right. Looks like they make me do that. So you guys order, and it just says unfulfilled, and I go fill it, and they go, oh, okay. That's a stupid system. All right, that's a lesson learned. Okay, so a shirt is being sent. Woo! Be stronger than your lizard brain. I'll have more up there. Hopefully on Wednesday I can start making more designs and getting more on there. Someone sent an adorable monkey butt one. Let's see if I can find it. Need to go. Where was it? Was it Jorge? Yes. How's that? That's good for a shirt, right? Little monkey butt under a blanket. And then oops, wrong one. And then has her butt as well. It's just destroyer of worlds. We'll fix that. It's adorable. That's you, monkey. That's you. That's your butt right there. Catahoula butt and all. I love it. So, there'll be shirts. Oh, crap. Let me do that. I wanted to go there. There we go. All right. Okay. 7 more minutes. 7 more minutes, kitty, and then I can, like, not have to talk. Cat? Yep. Okay. Do you think? There's the tail. All right. Quit resetting. Where'd that chat go? Okay. Decatur Raw. Happy birthday, Houston. We have a problem. What do you think about the movie that was shot in the same place that the movie was based on? What? Chemical spill, menace. It's sad. 7 months prior. Decatur Raw. I don't know what you're referring to. They've made a movie in East Palestine. Is that what you're talking about? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Um, Javi A, why has there been a rise in conspiracy theories being pumped? I just think it's to misguide people and have politicians pander to them to win an election. The number of conspiracy theories that have gained traction are absolutely just bonkers. I think it has to do with the fact that a lot of the conspiracy theories are promoted by nefarious actors. Like, think about if you are you've got a YouTube channel. It's a health YouTube channel, and you talk about, you know, various things about healthcare, and you talk about eating right and exercise, and then a pandemic comes along, and you talk about like how the disease works in this pandemic, and how you know, you can protect yourself from the disease and whatnot, and you don't really see any numbers come up very big. Your audience doesn't really change, but you happen to mention something about, I don't know. We have a guest on that talks about like, oh, it's no actual disease. It's actually effective 5G antennas, and all of a sudden you see your audience just scream, and you go, "Whoa! I just got a million hits when I only had a few hundred before." Maybe I'll have another one of these screwballs come on. You know, somebody come on, talks about how, you know, they're putting microchips in the vaccine. They're going to control your brain, and all of a sudden you got another million hits, and you're like, "Holy shit! I'm making like $10,000 a show off of every single one of these YouTube shows. Let's bring on the cranks." Like, there could be a huge financial incentive for a lot of these guys, and by the time they've inundated their show with this misinformation because they're making money off of it, they can't be taken seriously outside of that anymore. So people who are like still the scientists working on this stuff, they don't want to be associated with you, and you don't have an out anymore. You're stuck in this conspiracy minded realm. And so that there's one financial incentive to be doing that, but also there's just straight up, you know, misinformation, disinformation campaigns put out by hostile foreign governments all the time. Like, the Russia learned early on that Americans are kind of dumb, and they can make these non-legitimate accounts propagate all sorts of information, and we go, oh, whoa, because they put the bad information in really small sound bites for a complex issue. And if you can make a complex issue very small, something that somebody can understand at a fourth grade reading level, that's what they're going to put in their brain, and they're never going to listen to any of the other information that might be a little more complicated to understand. That's just how it works. You know, there's all sorts of marketing research that goes into that, and there's not much we can do about it. We can try our best, but people get stuck in their ways, and then they see like having to change their mind as some sort of attack on their identity as a person, and they just don't do it. It's crazy. Okay. Race the piece uses neck hole. Patty MJ Houston, I say we do a hunger strike, but in terms of retail, not putting another penny into the market until things are fixed. Rules are actually followed. Penalties and fines are actually that. That'd be great. But the problem is, I think so many people have automatic deductions put into their pensions or into their 401ks or into their IRAs or into their mutual funds they hold that I don't know how effective it's going to be. If you can get those folks to all of a sudden pause their contributions, it might be really effective. But I have to look into the logistics of that, Patty. I have to like figure out exactly how we go about organizing something like that. Because I mean, the hedge funds make their money off of us. Without us, they've got no way to make their money. They have to bounce their plays off of dumb money in order to manipulate the stock market and make their money. If we're not there to invest, they've got no one to pull their money off of, and they got to start like eating the hand, like biting the hand that feeds them, which is what happened in 2009. When retail ran out of money, they started shorting all the financial institutions, and they had to pass that law banning them from shorting financial institutions because they had to go somewhere. It's like King Rat situation, right? You guys know about King Rat? It's that you're on an island, it's infested with rats. You dig a hole, and the rats fall into the hole, and you don't feed them, and they're stuck in that hole. Eventually, they're gonna start turning on each other, and you you go until there's one rat, and then you take that king rat and you stick him out in the bush, and he'll hunt down and eat all the other rats for you. King Rat. That's what the hedge funds started doing, is they started turning on each other and on their institutions and their prime brokers. They started eating them, and that's why they had to make that law. Okay, my throat's sore. I want to thank everybody for joining the show today. I want to thank Mike the Marine for stopping by and talking about how we can regulate this crap. And I need to go not talk and drink nothing but water for the rest of my life. So, monkey butt, anything to add? Oh, the cat took the bed again. Cat wins. King of the hill. Okay, everybody. I gotta go click on this, and then I can click on that. Hi, bye.